Cops heard after SIG Sauer handguns fire on their own. Here's what's going on. The SIG Sauer P320 semi-automatic handgun is one of America's most popular firearms, but according to one law enforcement source, the P320 isn't just a gun, it's a ticking time bomb. It allegedly fires spontaneously and has injured dozens of cops. According to the lawsuits brought against gun manufacturer SIG Sauer, 150 people claim to have suffered injuries or frightening near misses when their department issued P320 went off on its own. SIG Sauer P320 semi-automatic handgun is used by some 1,000 law enforcement agencies from the local to the federal level, as well as being a popular civilian purchase. But its manufacturer is facing a slew of lawsuits alleging it can fire even when holstered, even when the trigger isn't pulled, and even when it is just sitting at rest, lawyers allege. And one of the attorneys handling the many cases calls the P320 America's most dangerously defective gun. In the lawsuits, the case is centered on the P320 not having an external manual safety, known as a tab trigger. Attorneys bringing the cases say it is a crucial design flaw that makes the gun liable to fire spontaneously with disastrous consequences. They say that although nobody has been killed, many have been injured. Among those injured include a detective, Ashley Katatow, single mother to a young son, police officer in the Somerville, Massachusetts Police Department. The 12-year veteran was beginning a typical 4 p.m. to midnight shift, and as she walked over from her car to her police cruiser, she was shot in the upper thigh. Sergeant Michael Colwell of the Troy Police Department was an award winner at the Academy, promoted to sergeant in 2015. Prior to June 2nd, 2021, he had never shot anyone or been shot at until his own gun that he had holstered and tucked away went off during range practice. The incident cost him nearly 2 years of policing. He says, "I haven't been able to do any kind of rigorous activity." Attorney Robert Zimmerman, who is bringing dozens of cases against SIG Sauer, says something has to be done immediately before more people are injured or worse. He told the Post, "We're calling on SIG to recall this weapon and redesign it to make it safe." Adding, the issue is that SIG Sauer has advertised this gun as a gun that won't fire unless the user wants it to fire, and none of my clients wanted this gun to fire. He continues, "We have clients who have had their weapons in their holster without their hands on the holster and it fired. We've had individuals who have had their guns in their holster and touched the back of the gun either to retrieve the weapon or to put it back in the holster and it fired." Zimmerman said the P320 is unique in that SIG Sauer is the only manufacturer making this type of gun without an external manual safety. This, doctor, sounds like a disaster already. And if this attorney's to be believed, these cases, so many of them, there is so much more danger to come. And there seems little chance that this gun manufacturer is going to recall this weapon or be forced to do so.
I'm glad this is getting attention. It's a story I've been hearing for a while. A lot of people own this handgun. It's as used by cops. People own them privately. There's no good scenario for what's an accidental shooting. But I think there are a couple of things that are particularly important about this case that I think are important to highlight. First of all, we have the technology to make handguns a lot safer. We don't use it. You could make smart guns that identify people's palm print. Obviously, safety locks, trigger locks are just a basic 101 kind of thing. And so the fact that that's not on this gun is really, really concerning, and we're seeing the effects of it. This is a case where gun manufacturers are liable because it's a malfunctioning product. But we also have to recognize that this is in the context of basically congressional level protection for gun manufacturers. It's very hard to sue gun manufacturers. So the incentive to bring a class action suit or to bring suit the way you would against the maker of any other product, cigarettes or cars without airbags, stuff like that. It just doesn't work here because of the protections that gun manufacturers enjoy. And so again, not exactly relevant in this case, but I think it highlights the importance of lawsuits. We've had a class action lawsuit against a gun manufacturer for advertising last year. But this again just shows the ridiculousness of shielding this whole industry from liability. And then I guess the third part is just, we talk a lot about mass shootings, but there are many other kinds of gun death in this country and gun injury. And accidental shootings, usually we think it's like a kid picks up a gun, but also the gun can just go off on its own, or when somebody drops it in the grocery store or something like that. So accidental shootings are a real problem, and often it's kids that get shot. And so we need to also focus a lot more on accidental shootings as a category, even though it doesn't get the headlines that mass shootings do.
Yeah, and we wanted to do this story, Doctor, because there's been some reporting, but you've been hearing about it, but you're in this arena, so to speak. I've not heard much about it. And that's what makes it even scarier, okay? That this is this quiet thing out there, because not just law enforcement agencies, 1,000 I think our reporting said, are using this service weapon, but others. It's popular with so many customers. We'll keep following the story.